I got Sway Da Barber here on the Lifting Love podcast. What's up, Sway?
What's up, guys? What's up? Started off, again, the grind, dude. It went from doing school all week to working on the weekends to now cutting in the barber shop and working on weekends. So I think that's kind of where that idea started to kind of spark in my head, as in like, man, I need to do something different. My hat collection, as you can see, is actually pretty nice and extensive due to messing myself up for many, many years.
What's up, guys? Lifting Love. Lifting Love here. Where did you pull this question from? Why is that? Lift Love. Crochet. We out. What's up, guys, and welcome back to the Lifting Love podcast. You are awesome. The Lifting Love podcast is presented to you today by Lake Hickory Pub and Marina, where lake and life meet. Today's guest is a friend of mine. Actually, he's my barber. I got Sway Da Barber here on the Lifting Love podcast. What's up, Sway?
What's up, guys? What's up? Good to be here.
So, we've talked a lot. You're my barber. I mean, I pretty much see you on like a 2 to 3 week-ish scale, basically every 2 to 3 weeks. For the people who don't know you, who are you and what do you do?
Yeah, man. So I'm Josue Perez, a.k.a. Sway Da Barber, as Lenny introduced me. I'm a young barber, young entrepreneur coming out of Hickory, North Carolina.
Let's go.
Been cutting hair for going on 5 years now. Started off like everyone does, out of the basement, watching YouTube, practicing on myself, my cousins. Anybody?
Hold on. You practiced on yourself?
Yeah, dude. I would, my hat collection, as you can see, shout out to my cousin who I'm actually wearing his hat right now. My hat collection is actually pretty nice and extensive due to messing myself up for many, many years. But yeah, man, just started out the basement and fell in love with barbering, fell in love with meeting new people, talking to people, listening to their stories, and more than anything, cutting hair, dude. Went through barber school, did all that. That took a year and some change, and I've been a professional licensed barber for 2 years now, man.
What was it about like barbering? Like, what instinctively led you to pick up the clippers? Like, was there like a moment where it was like you went to get a haircut and you were like, oh, that's cool? Or did you like see something online? Like, how did you get your start into barbering?
So random, dude. It was just random. I just picked it up. I would always, growing up, just kind of get basic buzz cuts. Just kind of in a
Trash
way get trash cuts, pretty much. And then, man, I just picked up some clippers that I found in my basement, which were my dad's old clippers. Cleaned them up. Got one of my sister's little dolls and then just started just started cutting hair, dude.
You were not a favorite at that point.
No, I definitely wasn't, man. I butchered all my sister's little Barbie dolls and anything I could find around the house that
had hair,
simulated hair or had hair. I was just cutting, man. Just started cutting out of nowhere, dude, literally.
And then, so, like, did you have any like plans to do anything else, like in high school? Like for me, like growing up, I wanted to be a firefighter. I wanted to then be an astronaut for like 30 seconds, and then it was like professional athlete, baseball player, all these different things. Like, did you have any of those aspirations other than barbering? Yeah,
dude. So I was huge into sports, specifically soccer, man. Came up playing soccer pretty much since I was 5, 6 years old. So in my mind, I was gonna take the sports route, play soccer, try to go to college, get a scholarship, do all that. But it just didn't happen that way, man. Life took a bit of a turn, and I just literally, like I said, man, just randomly picked up some clippers. I fell in love, I would say more so with the kind of the transition, the before and after of hair cutting, man. Just
like the art of it.
The art of it, yeah. The getting, a canvas, like, oh shoot, yeah, you haven't got a cut in months, and then transforming it to whatever the client, or at the time myself, my cousin, or anybody that would let me cut their hair, whatever they wanted, or whatever they thought they wanted. I would try to simulate that, and then as time went on, man, just getting better at the craft, learning, growing. It just literally, man, just made me fall in love with it.
So like you graduate high school, you go and get your. How long after you graduate high school did you get your license?
So I started, like I said, just picked up some clippers like freshman year of high school. Just messed around with it for a few years. YouTube, like I said, just practicing on who would ever let me cut their hair. Graduated high school. I actually graduated early, in December. That little 6 months before graduation.
You got a smart guy here. Okay.
Something like that. Yeah, man. And then I actually went to the community college, took a couple courses in business and things of that nature. And then COVID hit. So everything kind of paused. School paused a little bit. Everything went to online. And whatnot. And the whole time, I was still going at it with the barbering, just countless hours of YouTube.
So COVID didn't stop you at all?
I mean, in a sense it did, man. Obviously, everyone was scared at first. You're skeptical about, oh, man, everyone's sick, this, that, the coronavirus, whatever. Yeah, it stopped a little bit because, again, I was working another job at the time. This was still just kind of like a little hobby on the side. Friends, family, again, whoever would kind of, trust me to cut their hair. And then, that stopped me for a little bit. And then once everything started kind of opening back up, there's actually the barber school that's up here in Newton. Shout out PK Barber College.
Shout out.
Yeah, they opened up. I think they had been open, or I think he opened right before COVID hit. So then he was still fairly new because they got shut down and whatnot. And then I actually had a friend that told me, hey, bro, you should go check out that barber school in Newton. And I was like, what? There's a barber school in Newton? So I went and checked that out. I guess you could say that's about a year and some change after high school. 2 years after high school. Ended up signing up, going to school. Doing all the hours. It was like 1,500 hours to get through all that.
1,500 hours to be a barber?
Yeah, dude. 1,528 to be exact.
Oh, this man remembers the actual number.
Yeah, because they kind of instilled it in our head. Like, you got to get those 1,528 to get the license. So, lucky enough, man, I was working a pretty decent part-time job on the weekends up here at MDI, literally right across the road here. So I was able to work weekends and then go to school all week, dude. So I was able to get through school in a little under a year, which usually it takes, theoretically a year and a half to 2 years almost.
So you were grinding.
Oh, grinding, dude. Grinding. 40, 50 hours a week at school, another 30 to 40 hours at work on the weekends, nonstop, dude.
So, and you just it's so cool to hear. I just love hearing people's stories. It's like randomly find these pair of clippers.
Yeah.
Just so happen to be in your basement.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what happens if you don't find those clippers?
I probably would have went to Walmart and bought a pair.
So eventually you were going to
Eventually,
get your
yeah,
hands.
man. Like I said, I used to go to the barbershop quite a bit. Even though I used to get messed up, I used to go a lot and get frequent haircuts. At that time, it was, going into the shop on a Saturday, waiting 5-6 hours to get a haircut. And I just watching barbers, watching the barber who cut my hair. And yeah, man, I kind of just ended up loving it, dude. Yeah.
That's awesome. It's so cool to see people who have a genuine passion about what they do, because you could, first off, for you could tell it when you're cutting hair. And I've been in there before you cut mine. Even when you do cut my hair, it's you're not just there for one customer. You're there for the conversation, the relationship, building that. And I'm not gonna lie, for me personally, coming from New York, where my best friend was my barber for 4 years, shout out Nick, and coming here, my first couple months, I was going to Supercuts. I was, you want to talk about trash haircuts? No disrespect. And somehow just found you on I think it was Google or Booksy or whatever.
Yeah.
And the first thing I remember from like meeting you was how welcoming you were. Like when I just pulled into the shop, you're like, "Hey man, just take a seat." Like, and then like we just started talking like we were like friends for
Right.
like friends
Yeah,
for
yeah.
like years. And it was just like you're like just at the time a stranger,
Yeah.
and I'm just like, this is like such a vibe. And the human connection, like the connection and relationships, was that something that you had to work on, or was that kind of just something that you always kind of just instantly had with people?
In a way, I did have to work on it, man. I used to be, still am sometimes, kind of shy in a sense,
Yeah.
as far as just meeting new people, going up to people, talking to people. Obviously at the start of my career, it was dude, you have to get out there, you have to put your name out there, do the groundwork, hand business cards out. Learn to talk to people, not just
Yeah.
not just, hey, what's up, man? Just actually learn how to talk to people and be welcome and be invited. So yeah, I definitely had to work on it, man. It did not come as natural as it seems now. But yeah, dude, I had to really, really work at that for sure.
And then, so you graduate, to go back to the story, you graduate, get your license. What's the next step? Like, did you have a next step, or did that kind of fall into your lap?
So yeah, nah, man. I graduated school. I was still working the other job. And actually, from that barber college, the owner has a barber shop called a Plush Cuts Barbershop. So he gave me a chance to go work up there, man. Started off, again, the grind, dude. It went from doing school all week to working on the weekends to now cutting in the barber shop and working on weekends. So yeah, man, it was a total grind. And then after that, some things happened. I worked there for about a year and some change, and then I fell on the opportunity to go up to Sherblin's Barber Lounge, where I'm at now. So I would say, honestly, man, there was not a precise plan. It was, all right, cool, I got the certificate. And mind you, after getting those hours and getting the certificate, you still have to go through a whole nother little set of hoops, which is you have to go take a test through the state. Once you pass that, you have to essentially be an apprentice for a year or work under somebody, work at a barbershop under somebody that has a license for a year. So that was another year and some change process, which was around the time I spent working at the other barbershop. But yeah, man, there was honestly no plan. It was a day by day.
So, I mean, you were just
Day by day,
just winging it.
I was like, man, this has to work. Again, I tried, I went to community college, did some courses, took that route for a while. And, I wasn't, I'm pretty smart to say the least, but I was just like, man, I got to do something. I got to figure something out. Did the 9 to 5 life, as far as punching the clock, working. And I was just like, yeah, I just can't do this forever, dude. I cannot.
Do you remember your first ever haircut? Like, that was like a paying customer that you were in school. It wasn't a family member. Like, your first true customer.
My first true customer. Oof. That's hard to say, man, because a lot of those friends and family members were the same people that became those first paying customers. It went from, hey, man, let me cut your hair for free, to like, hey, bro, here's 10, here's 20, or, whatever the case was. So,
well, really what I'm getting at is, like, what was that feeling when, like, you got in the chair for the first time, and, like, not in the chair, but, like, you're a customer, your first customer got in the chair, and, like, you did all this hard work. You just were doing 40, 50-hour weeks in school, still working. Now you have an opportunity to do it. Like, you have a chance to put all your training and skills to the test. What did that feel like?
It felt pretty relieving, man, because kind of at that moment, you kind of feel like, all right, I got something going here. I had a complete stranger, if we're being honest, as far as my first actual paying customer outside of family and friends, a complete stranger who, trusted me, even though they didn't really have too much of an idea of what I had to offer. But yeah, dude, it was a big relief, man, just to kind of know that, like, all right, I got something going here. It's not just a little hobby. It's not just something that I do on the side. It's like, okay, I see a business here, something that I could potentially grow into something bigger than just cutting hair.
And then when was it that you made the switch? Because you were working at MDI.
Mm-hmm.
When was it that you made the switch and you were like, you know what, like this is a business. Like I'm gaining traction.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm gonna do this full time. When was that switch?
So that actually wasn't. Well, now that I think about it, it was about 2 years ago now. This year flew by, dude. I don't even realize, but it was about 2 years ago, man. I went into work up here at MDI. I was working in a real cold warehouse, and I was actually sick, I think. And I was just like, man, you know what? I'm done with this. I went up to my supervisor, and I was like, hey, man, because I was pretty cool with my supervisor. I was like, hey, man, I think I'm going to put in my 2 weeks. He was like, you sure? What's going on? What can I do? Whatever. I was like, yeah, nah, man, I'm gonna go ahead and go full time with the barbering thing. Funny story, I actually cut my supervisor a few times, but
that had to be a pretty good feeling.
Yeah.
The world's full circle in some aspects. Like that must have been really cool.
Yeah, it was super cool, man. Being able to really rely on this craft on my hands, essentially to make a living. Yep.
That's unbelievable. That's just like such a cool, the fact that you went from this one moment that kind of was like, up to that point, you only wanted to do one thing to now having like this thing that could be something. But at the time you didn't know, right? It wasn't like, oh, I'm going to do this. And you had this perfectly executed plan.
Nah,
like,
not at all.
X, and like, I don't like the negative connotation of the word, but winging it in a sense.
Literally.
in a sense, you winged it to get to where you are now. Do you look back? Is there anything you regret?
I don't think so, man. I don't think I regret anything, man. I feel like everything does end up happening for a reason, whether good or bad. It was just something in my head that told me, hey, just go at it, do it. Don't be scared. Don't be afraid.
That's so awesome. And so what is, you said 2024 went by really fast. Mm-hmm. And was that 2024 your biggest year of growth?
Yeah, for sure, man. 2024, let's see, I actually started at the end of 23 up at this new barbershop. So that gave me a whole brand new space, brand new location. Obviously, that comes with different things, different freedoms. But, dude, yeah, this year has been amazing, man. I can't complain.
And what does 25 look like? What are some of your goals in 25? And right now, I know we're only a couple of days in. By the time this podcast comes out, we'll be like closer to a month in. What does 2025 look like for Sway?
So 2025, without saying too much, big things are definitely coming, man. I'm looking to expand what I'm doing. Again, create something more than just a haircut. Create more of a brand. Potentially have my own space. Whether that's by myself, partnering up with somebody, whatever the case may be. But honestly, this year, yeah, it's definitely going to be a lot of growth, more than 2024 was.
and we've talked, and again, without saying too much, it's really cool to I didn't know any of this honestly leading in. Like I honestly came into this interview blind, if in one sense. Like we've talked, but I never knew like your backstory. And it's so cool to like see how just a couple years ago, like this was a hobby. Yeah. And now like this year you could potentially either own your own spot, partner with somebody, and do your own thing like entirely. Because it's like one thing to like cut hair in somebody's spot, but it's like a completely another thing to like have your own spot and have people cutting hair in that spot who are paying you rent and stuff like that. Do you think about any of that, and what like goes through your head when you think that?
Dude, definitely. I daydream about just literally what the next month, what the next 2 months are gonna look like. What the next year is gonna look like. Yeah, man, I think about all that. It's definitely gonna be a big change, but I think it's gonna be a good change for sure. With more how do they say? With more responsibility comes, or no, I might be saying that wrong. But yeah, definitely there's going to be more responsibilities. It's going to be, if I was to do something and expand, it's going to be on me now. I'm going to be, kind of responsible for everything, trying to build a reputation, build a brand, and again, just build something more than just, coming in and getting a simple haircut, man.
Yeah, and I think the cool thing about barbering or haircuts in general is like, I feel like anybody can cut hair, right? Like in the, like the simplest terms.
Yeah.
Not a good cut.
Yeah.
Not a bad cut. Anybody could really cut hair.
Yeah.
Right? Anyone could just grab a blade. But like what you're talking about is the experience. Like
Yeah.
not many people can build the experience, to build the rapport, the relationships that you have with the clients you have now, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's something that maybe gets overlooked in the haircutting space, especially when you have 40, 50, 60, 100 clients that you see every 2 weeks or every month. And that could be a daunting task to be like, okay, I have to give every single person a 5-star experience. Yeah. And some people probably cut corners, but like with you, it's literally like 100% across the board. Like everybody's getting this 5-star experience, like no questions asked. And was there ever like, what instilled that? Did you have a bad experience at a barber shop? Did like your instructors instill that? Or was that kind of just something that you wanted to be like the gold standard of barbering?
Yeah, I think that came a little bit more from just within, man. Just seeing everyone else, seeing, the competition per se or the industry in general, and just seeing everyone kind of treat it as just a transaction. Like, you come in, get your hair cut, give me your money, peace out.
Yeah.
And I did experience a lot of that, man. Just before I got into the whole actually being a barber and cutting, going to different barbershops, trying different barbershops out. I always seen, in a sense, the lack of creating an experience for the client. It was always very, most people are welcoming, they welcome you in, but it was besides that, it was, hey, how you doing? Sit in my chair, get a haircut. Give me your money. Peace out.
Peace out. Yeah. Well, we'll see you later.
yeah, man. So I think that's kind of where that idea started to kind of spark in my head, as in like, man, I need to do something different without doing too much per se.
Yeah.
And just, it just kind of came naturally after a while, man. Just focusing more on the client and trying to give them a good experience rather than just trying to take their money.
And again, it's like you probably started, $5, $10 for a haircut, and now you're at currently. It's like it's awesome to see that you're able to gain value as well as provide an amazing service, right? I think that's something that's so cool. It's like sometimes people are like either too cheap and are selling themselves short, or they're too expensive, and it's like there's no like middle ground where it's like for you and the growth, even in how long have I been a year and a half now, maybe?
Yeah, about like, a year and some change now, I think.
And the product and the quality has just gotten better over time. And it's just like, it's so cool to see. And how old are you?
23.
23. That's just like so cool, man. It's like, I don't know. There's just something impactful about awesome people in positions to affect change. And like I know people don't think barbers are like this grand old thing, but like to some people you're like a therapist. To other people, like that's the one time a week or one time every 2 weeks where they could just vent and let it out, and maybe they don't see like somebody, but like you kind of become like this therapist in a way. How has that experience been like for you?
Dude, it's honestly kind of therapy for me in a way too. Just being able to talk to people, man, relate to people, hear everyone's stories. And like you said, man, for a lot of people, that's their only kind of quiet time, man, or kind of their only like relax. I'm going to hang out, talk sports, listen to music, watch some sports, get a good haircut, get a good experience. So honestly, man, I would say it's a little more therapy for me in many cases rather than the client. Yeah, man, just being able to talk to people, like I said, and be kind of open and vulnerable, create somewhat of a safe space to where, dude, I've had people tell me like some real personal things, and I'm like, dude, this is like the third time I cut you, but all right, man, I'm here for you for sure. I'm here to listen, and try. I'm pretty young still, man, but I feel like within the short 23 years I've lived, I've been able to experience a lot, gain a lot of wisdom. So yeah, it's nice, man, being able to just talk to people and create that safe space and give them a little bit of relief.
Yeah, one thing the one thing I respect about it is it's kind of like not the thing that you were initially getting into it for, but it kind of just happens because it is an intimate space as far as like you're creating art, but to someone that's like helping their confidence, to someone that's like making them feel less insecure about themselves. And it's like, it's just such a cool thing. Like, I don't know. Like we put so much emphasis on our personal appearance and our looks. I mean, that's just kind of how society has molded everything. That's a whole nother conversation. Yeah. But like, it's just such an awesome field that you're in. So we get to now you're on your own spot. Is there what do you think is the biggest struggle that you've had up to this point, and what have you done to overcome it?
The biggest struggle, man. Oof, that's a good one. I would say probably not retaining clients, because I would say that's not a problem, but I guess just reaching out to the right people, I guess. Being able to get the right people to come in the door, to make connections, to network with. Obviously, you have a lot of other small challenges, personal challenges as you go, the work-life balance and all that good stuff. But I would say, yeah, man, just trying to keep the ball rolling and get, without sounding wrong or offending anybody, getting quality people to be around you and be in your space. I would say it's probably the biggest struggle, as probably a lot of businesses face, man. Just, being able to get quality people, quality clients to come through the door and stick with you for the long run.
Yeah, I mean, it's, honestly, it's something that's really not talked about, because like some people, when you first get in, it's kind of like, I need everybody to come through that door. Like I need, it doesn't matter who you are, but once you get to a certain point, it's like, you don't want to, I don't think anyone ever wastes their time, but you don't want to waste your time with someone if like you can't come here and build a relationship and be open to being like, all right, like maybe we're not, I'm not your barber forever, but like, it's not like a one-time thing. And that doesn't even just go with like the relationship and the business side. It's also like genuinely for the hair. Like it's genuinely for the quality of service, because if you go to some random person and then I come to you and I go back to another random person, like you guys have different styles of cutting hair. Like no barber cuts the same, right? Isn't there something that has to that effect? Like it's not only about the business side of it, but it's also like the actual product, like your hair quality.
Yeah, man. I think more than anything, it would be more of the exchange. I'm giving you X service. What can you return to me besides, paying? I think that's what I kind of look for the most is, kind of trying to bring in that clientele that's going to value your time, like you said, value my time. And damn, I'm kind of stuck.
No, like you're talking about finding people who not only is it a transaction, but like I'm giving you quality service, and like those people who maybe can tell their friends and tell other people, instead of it just being like, oh, that's my barber. For sure. It adds value to not only you but to them, because you're giving a high quality product, and you're basically like a billboard. Like, have you ever thought about like a barber? It's like you're basically like every client you have is a billboard of you. There's just no branding on the shirt. It's the hair, right? Because when you give a fresh cut to someone, where'd you get cut at? And they're like, like Sway hooked it up. Like, you need to go check him. Oh, who's that? Oh, yeah, he's at Sherblins.
For sure.
So it's something that's super interesting. So struggle. We talked about struggle. What's been your proudest moment so far in all of this?
My proudest moment, man, has been, again, going back to that, being able to create that safe space for the client, man. I've had a lot of tough, I guess you could say, or very personal conversations with a lot of my clients, and I think that's what I'm more proud of, man, is being able to create that relationship and have them trust me, not only with cutting their hair and their money, but with their personal life, dude. Because I mean, most people don't go around just opening up to anybody and just, kind of dumping it on them and being like, hey, man, this, that, and third. And again, man, you kind of become that therapist for a lot of people. And definitely not what I got into it for, to say the least. When I first started, it was like, okay, cool. I like the art of it. I can make some money. I can make it a business. But now, man, I've learned that more than anything, it's the relationships you build with your clients that really keep it going. Yeah.
100%. So last couple questions for you. Just got 2 more questions for you, really. We talked about 2025, right? We talked about your struggles. We talked about all these things. For someone who has never been to get a haircut by you, what's something that they should expect? What would you say to that person watching this right now on what they can expect and the quality of service that you provide to them?
I would say you can expect a super fresh cut for sure. But more than anything, man, you can expect the vibe, man. You can expect the whole vibe. Aside from the great service and the great experience we, not only I, but the other guys at the barbershop bring, you're going to have a safe space to come in, bring your kids, bring your family, relax, come get a haircut. And hopefully, man, build a lot of relationships with not only me, the other barbers, but, the other customers that come through the shop, man. You'd be surprised how many connections people make just within the shop, coming in and, oh, you do this. Oh, you do that. Yeah, dude. So definitely, I think that's the main thing you can expect.
That's so awesome. And before I ask the last question, actually, I want to pivot to something real quick. What services do you offer? Because I know people like, oh, well, that's a barber. He just cuts hair. But there's so many other things you do. So, what are the services that you can offer to people that maybe they don't know that a barber offers?
So, you have obviously your basic haircuts, beard trimming and shaving and things of that nature. We also provide I also provide a facial, basic men's facial, so you can, come in and get that done, as well as eyebrow trimming. We can trim up the eyebrows. And then speaking of 2025, we are looking to expand to provide a few more services. So definitely be on the lookout for that.
Ooh, leaving us in some suspense. I love it. Okay. So to end off the podcast, our brand's called Lifting Love. So it's really about motivation, positivity, and just trying to inspire and uplift people. For someone watching this, maybe they're a business owner, maybe they're not, maybe they're in a tough time in life, or maybe they want to take a jump and take a risk and do something that they are super passionate about. Whatever the case is, to someone watching this right now, what's the best piece of advice that you can give them? And
I would say, man, especially for anybody looking to go into business for their own self or pursue something they're passionate about, is never give up, dude. No matter who doesn't support you, who does support you, take it day by day. Definitely have a plan, kind of have some sort of a vision, but man, take it day by day and just never give up, dude. Because it's a matter of time, man. If you do something enough times, something's gonna happen.
You don't know what.
If you put in the work, something's gonna happen, man. So don't give up. Don't listen to the critics. Take it for what it is. If it's a good critique, take it. If it's not, leave it. And then just have tunnel vision, man. Be focused and literally, man, just never give up.
I love that. And then lastly, where can people follow you on social media? I know you've been improving your social media game.
Definitely.
And first off, before you say anything, I want to say how proud I am of you.
Appreciate
because
it, man.
we would talk. We've had multiple conversations before you started posting, and I was like, dude, you just need to post more.
Yeah.
You're funny, you're relatable, you're a great barber. All the rest of the stuff's going to come.
Yeah.
But, dude, some of the skits that you've been posting have been hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
Like the one about, hey, you need to be home at 6 o'clock. Or, hey, or whatever you said, I'm going to be home at 6 o'clock. It was like, you called in walk-ins. And it was like, I'm hopeful. Yes, I am. Like, that was so funny. So, shout out your social media and keep doing it.
Definitely. I'm really only on Instagram and TikTok, Sway Da Barber _. So you can find me on Instagram and TikTok, and then also I do my appointments through Bookski. So if anybody's familiar with Bookski, you can also find me on there as Sway Da Barber. I should be pretty easy to find. I think I'm the only person with that name around here. But yes,
he is, and literally that's kind of how I found him. So I just want to say thank you for your time. I'm grateful for your time.
Yes, sir.
I'm super lucky that I've gotten to meet you, and I'm really grateful that you, like I said, take the time out of your day to do this. And this is one that it was literally like on my list. I was
the first of many, man. The first 100%. Of many.
I'm so proud of you. I'm really excited to see what the future brings. And, obviously if there's anything I can do or Lifting Love can do, just let me know.
Yes, sir. Always.
All right. Well, hold on. Got to get the outro going.
Right.
So one last time. Episode today was brought to you by Lake Hickory Pub and Marina, where lake and life meet. Special shout out to Dan and everybody over here for allowing us to shoot at this space. But lastly, this was another Lifting Love podcast. And until next time, there's only one thing to do. Subscribe if you haven't. You can do that too. But lift love, crush hate. And just like that, we out.